Hello and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus, as we come into the final week of summer and we're just hitting into Wednesday, where it is absolutely chucking it down with rain, and thankfully I have a lot of crops to harvest, which is going to be fantastic, because of course I want to harvest as many crops as possible before the autumn begins, so I can make as much money as possible and potentially buy all the more seeds of things that I really want to grow, which is going to be things like the pumpkin and probably more corn. But I think when the autumn rolls round and I'm able to reorganise the garden a bit more, that'll be good. Now, I do need to reorganise some of the land here and re-hoe it and re-fertilise it, as I managed to mess up slightly here. Not the end of the world, and not too difficult, thankfully. So here we go, let's just get all that ready. Now, what other plants should we put down? It's probably going to be just a large swath of wheat, because of course I have loads of that, I've got loads of corn. So just to quickly sell all the things that we've harvested today. It's a lot of summer spangles, which I think is quite reasonable. Although what I do really want to do is actually build a couple of bee houses, because that'd be nice. Having a few bees buzzing around would be lovely, and it's something I'm very keen on in real life as well as in the idea of Stardew. Bees are fantastic, and there's just something to be said about watching a bunch of bees buzzing around your garden. It's really sweet, actually, especially when you've got a big lump of bumblebees. I've got a bunch of honeysuckles and other plants growing in the front garden, and it's so nice watching the bees buzzing around. But I would also like to have lots of honey, and I think I might dedicate a certain area of the farm, probably this area I'm currently in at the moment, as a purely honey producing area, as I've got my potential area of maple syrup growing, but I would very much like to be able to have a honey producing area, because I know some honeys are valuable turned into mead, some are valuable just sold on their own, and it's just one of those fun odd things. Now, today, however, it's being that it's chucking it down with rain, it means that my general farming is a little bit easier, as of course I don't need to water anything that isn't quite reached by the sprinkler systems that I've got in place, but I do need to build some more of those, so I am going to need potentially a few more iron and gold bars. Now, I'm just having a quick look and see how much I need to start building more buildings, because I really want a mill, but the trouble is I've not found any cloth. And Sebastian isn't in his bed. I need to find him because I've got a tomato for him. Because apparently, like all sensible adults, he wants to go and throw a tomato at a mountain. I mean, to each their own, but whatever. Emo kids, eh? It's just peculiar. But that's just the way he is. Understandable, though. Right, now let me just quickly check and see where he may very well be. Now, where are you? Again, apologies if I do sniff during the recording. I think I've managed to delete most of them. But my hay fever is absolutely giving me an absolute kicking. As you may be able to guess, I've run out of antihistamines because I'm an idiot and forgot to buy any more when I went shopping yesterday. Oops. That's going to be one of the other things that makes me glad that I'm not actually really a farmer, because, my goodness, I think I would just die when it came to actually dealing with any part of this entire operation. Be like, oh yeah, I've got all these lovely plants that are killing me. Yay. So much fun. But oh well. Right, now what we're going to head on over to the town first, sorry, because I want to go and organise some smashing with a hammer of some geodes. Come on, give me something exciting, Clint. Come on. And nothing super exciting, to be honest. I mean, in theory, I could also just buy some coal and iron if I really desperately needed it, but I'm not that desperate. Also, it feels like a waste unless you just need one. But hey ho, that's just how it is. Now, to continue fishing, as it's an easy source of extra cash. I know I'm going to make a reasonable amount of money by the end of the day, which is nice. I think I might want to go and explore the mines for a little bit today. Because, again, there's not a huge amount I can do at the moment, as it's just waiting for crops to finish and be ready for harvest to sell. And I think that's going to be nice because it'll help me get a bit more money, and hopefully it'll also level up my farming, because that'd be nice, as I would really like to be able to start making kegs, as being able to distill into alcohol really quite helpful. But I do want to get a couple of barns as well. It's one of the things that I've found in the past is actually organising your production materials into barns is really helpful, because it just keeps it organised and centralised. So having a barn that is the keg barn is where I do all my brewery, and the same with the preserve barn. I mean, it's going to be a little bit later on down the line because I can't exactly afford 3 or 4 barns as much as I'd like, but it would be helpful. But we'll see soon enough. It's going to be one of those things that I'm going to save up and see if I can get those, and then start making them. Maybe I might be able to start getting those built during the winter, because, of course, there's not a huge amount crop-wise that I can do anyway. I mean, I know there's the winter forage, but that's about it. And it'd be nice to be able to grow some of the winter forage things, but that's literally all I can do. And I know I think I've got 2 of the winter forage already done. I know I've got one of the autumn one, but we'll see. It's one of those things. I need to wait and see exactly where we are on that one. And again, I really want to get the triple shot espresso recipe, but again, at the same time, I can't make coffee because I haven't got any coffee beans. So it seems a little bit of a moot point at the moment. Okay, so he's not here. I'm surprised, because I was expecting him to be with those two because they are like his closest friends. But we'll see. I'm wondering where else to go, because as I mentioned before, I'm definitely just fudging my way through this playthrough. I'm not really trying to use the wiki. Do I think you'll ever turn pro? I don't know. I just don't care, because I'm never going to lie here. American football does not interest me at all. Also, like, so I used to live out in Cleveland, so of course, if I'm going to support a team, I'm going to support the Cleveland Browns, partly because they're terrible, and it's hilarious. I just thoroughly enjoy going and watching them in their games. It's just funny. So I've seen a fair bit of American football live and on the TV and such, and I think it's just that sport doesn't really interest me a huge amount. And the ones that do aren't really the sports that you really want to sit down and watch, because they will take forever, such as cricket. Like, I've got a bit of an interest in that, and I can't play it for love nor money. I'm just really bad at doing the runs. Also, my coordination is terrible. I can't catch anything. I can use a bow. Target sports, pretty good at. Pretty good at shooting, and both bows and guns. But I am absolutely awful at sports, like team sports. But that's just the way it's always been. I don't think it'll ever change. Oh, goodness gracious. I went into the wrong house. Now, what are you doing in here, Willie? Can I find There he is. Have a tomato. Thank you for 180 gold for a single tomato. Boom. Cash money. That's what we need. Now, let's go and flog some of this nonsense that we've got in the inventory. That I don't really need. Because, goodness gracious, I've got a lot of it. And those pikes are actually quite valuable. In the grand scheme of, like, low-end stuff, compared to the grapes, definitely. I think that's really what helped me get a fair bit of extra money, is the fact that I like doing the fishing, and being able to do that quickly was quite helpful. I'm going to throw the mayonnaise away. Sorry, throw it away. Sell it. And then put the rest of this in here. I am definitely going to need more coal. I've only got 7. And I think you need coal to make the bee house, actually, thinking about it. Again, been a while since I've checked. But for the moment, I do need a lot more wood. So I think, whilst we've still got a little bit of time and I've got loads of energy, I'm going to go on a lumberjacking spree, because my little forested bit there is nowhere near grown. So there's no point in me trying to use my coppiced area of sensible growth. Let's just go and deforest outside of my house. Which here must be a really weird concept for the villagers. Be like, oh yeah, the new farmer's moved in and he's just deforested this large area. Apparently he just doesn't like trees. I mean, not wrong. I need to remove these trees, partly because I need the wood. But it's not that I hate trees. It's trees tend to bring elves, and elves are terrible creatures and need to be kept away. I don't know. Just waffling absolute garbage. There's a surprise. Right. Now, I know I did have somebody comment about actually cutting the tree, and they were quite correct. Like, if you cut it from the left-hand side, it'll fall to the right, and chop it from the right, it'll fall to the left. But I still would like it if there was a way that if you could cut either from the top or the bottom to control which way it falls. Because there are some places where you can't access very easily either the left or the right of the tree, and you don't want it to fall, for example, left. So this one's fine because it's higher than the water line. So it's not really too much of a problem. I might lose a little bit, but I was lucky enough I didn't. But there are some trees that are definitely situated where it's I can't get round to the right-hand side of the tree. I need it to fall left. And if I cut it from above, there's a chance that it'll fall either direction. So that's just one of those little things that it would be quite helpful. Again, I'm very sure there are some mods out there that can sort of assist with that. But as I've mentioned before, I will, after the first year is complete, I'll actually start looking at some of the mods. Probably ones that will add extra crops or increase some of the interesting interactions. I'm not going to do anything that would generally make my life easier. Because that's something I just very much dislike, is making my life easier. And this is like a basic quality of life mod. Especially when you go back and play an older game, especially an older game in a series, and you're very used to a particular feature that was added later, and you go, oh, that wasn't introduced yet. And, you know, little things like that, that's fine. But, I just remember watching one of my friends play Skyrim many moons ago, and he was like, oh, look, I can make the Master Sword from the Legend of Zelda. I was like, oh, that's really cool, mate. Yeah, it sells for like 9,000 gold. It's like, oh. And how much iron did it cost you? Oh, 10 iron. Cool. That's a bit of a piss take there. So it's one of those things that I've seen it enough, and I dislike it when a game is artificially made way easier. Not saying that, like, super gatekeepy on that regard, but it's if a game's difficult, I'm sort of the person who will struggle through it until I can get good at it to actually try it. It's one of the reasons I've never played Dark Souls, because I know that I will just get very stressed out and try and play it over and over and over until I figure it all out. I was like that with Battlefield, actually. I'm originally, like, during many moons ago, I tried playing Battlefield 3 and 4, and I was absolutely god-awful in the aircraft. So as soon as Battlefield 1 and 5 came out, I forced myself to get better with the aircraft. I can actually fly them now. But that was a steep learning curve, and it was very annoying how stubborn I was being about it. Like, I must learn. Don't do it, kids. Just don't do it that way. Righty, so we've actually leveled up the farming, which is fantastic. So that's watering can proficiency, hoe proficiency, and the keg at last. And I can make an oil maker, which is actually very helpful. Because sunflowers, like low tier sunflowers, I could turn them into oil. I didn't actually realise that sunflower seeds could be turned into oil, which I know is potentially really stupid, but I hadn't actually realised that was a thing. I felt so stupid. But oh well. Right, so another storm is coming through on Friday, so that's fine. Okay, George wants a hot pepper. Now, I don't think that should be too difficult, because I generally have hot peppers all over the farm. And there we go. We've already got some hot peppers. That's fantastic. So we can help George out, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. I think that's something I really need to start doing, is actually working on some of the relationships with people. Maybe that's something I should try and do during the winter a bit more. Because at the moment, I've really just been focusing on the farm and getting it to a stage where I'm happy with. And unfortunately, that's generally the way I keep playing these games, is that I go, until I'm in a stable point where I'm happy with what I've got going. Oh no, that crow means that I've had something eaten. Drat! Yeah, until I've got a stable, I won't try and deal with the relationships with people, which is a thing. Okay, so what did the crow eat? Oh, blast. Okay, so I'm going to have to replant another one of those. That's annoying. Not the end of the world, but I'm just going to move this. That's frustrating. Ho-hum. There. Right. So let's see. We've got a couple of poppies, so that's good. I know that was something I needed. And we'll just quickly water all of this, because that'll make life a little bit quicker and easier. Again, I think upgrading the watering can is going to be the next big thing. Because being able to go from a line of 3 to a square, I think, is the next upgrade, where it goes to... Or does it go to a 5 strip? I forget. I think it might go to the 5 strip. I can't remember. I need to upgrade both the hoe and the watering can. Both would be helpful. And to be honest, one of the things I have seen in the past is using bombs instead of a hoe. If your hoe's being serviced, just using a load of bombs to hoe the land for you. It's not accurate. Doesn't use any energy, though. It's the ridiculous attempts of how to do farming with explosives. Yeah. I mean, admittedly, if I could farm with just explosives, I'm sure I would. A little bit extreme, though, I think. Not my major jam, blowing up my crops or my land. Oh, drat, I need some more water. I'm still very glad that I built the, what's it called? Well. Good grief, I'm failing at English today. Yeah, but I'm glad I built the well on the farm. Because it means I don't have to run back and forth to the river, which is a godsend. Although at the same time, I don't know if this will be the actual main crop growing area at the end, when I've actually finished my sort of development of the farm. Because I feel that there are better things that I could put closer to the house. But I'm not sure. We'll see. It might be that this becomes the orchard. Like all the fruiting trees grow along here, because I've got the ones growing over there on the other side of the house. And actually, if I'm clever about it, I could probably plant all the fruiting trees on grass patches, like I have so far, because they can grow on them, and they won't use up valuable farming real estate, which would probably be the most sensible plan of action. In the same way, once you get a greenhouse, planting flowering trees on on the walkway is a thing, and something I have done repeatedly in the past, and definitely works. Not quite entirely sure how that you can get a apple tree or a pear tree or even a mango and banana trees growing inside like that, but hey, if it works, I ain't complaining. I'm just that lazy. Right, so we've got some hot peppers. I need to give one to George. I might save the other ones to pickle them. Maybe. It'll just depend on strawberry jam production, because that's the thing, I'm using that at the moment. And the same thing, I've got other things I could also make. What else could we do? Well, I do need to plant a few more trees for this area, because I would very much like to get this done, because that'll make life a lot easier. I also probably need to make a couple more lightning rods just to be on the safe side. Yeah, I don't want to lose things. To be really daft and blunt about it, I just don't want to end up losing more stuff to lightning strikes, because that will end badly, in one's humble opinion. It'll end very, very badly. But oh well. Now, let's sort this mess out. Okay. So I'm organising the miscellanea that we've got here. That's easy peasy. And excuse me. Off we trot. So I'm going to plant a few more maple seeds, because I would like to have about a good 10 at least as my production of maple syrup, essentially. I don't think that's a terrible idea, to be honest. And yeah, be nice and easy in the grand scheme, because maple syrup is quite useful for a number of things, but at the same time the pine tar and the oak resin are also very useful for some of the more what's it called things. I'm so good at words. Good grief. I can do it, I promise. So I've given one to Lewis of the hot peppers, so that's good. Flounder. Ooh, I'm trying to remember where you get those. I think, I mean, they're from the sea, one would assume, but can't remember. We'll see. And here we go. George needs a hot pepper. That's that. I mean, he is a cantankerous old fart, but then again, I have a sneaky suspicion I'd be a cantankerous old fart if I was old and in a wheelchair and much more immobile in a small village. There's not a huge amount for him to do other than watch the TV, which kind of sucks that there's not much more for him to do, which is kind of sad. But oh well. C'est la vie. Right. Let's have a look. So let's plant some of these acorns, because I'm going to need to start really getting a bunch of what are they called? Oak trees, so I can get oak resin. Because as I mentioned, oak resin and pine tar are really useful in a couple of the production recipes that I actually just need, and I haven't really got any of, which kind of bites. It'll be very helpful to actually end up with, but we'll see, as I do kind of need it. Now, where's a good place to put them? I think that's the next question. Where's going to be a good place for oak? Yeah, screw it. Let's put it over here. Yeah, near Grandad's shrine. What I also need to start doing is making some walkways, just so move a bit quicker and actually do things a bit faster and better and stuff and things, yo. Woo. As you can tell, I'm totally with it. It's the joys of trying to record in the reasonably early morning and the lack of caffeination. It's also the same sort of struggle my poor farmer the walrus is having, as he desperately needs coffee and has yet to find any, which is terrible. But oh well. Now, let's see. what can we quickly get here? So we're going to head back to the town for a moment. And I think... Oh, I missed him by 10 bloody minutes. That's annoying. Ugh. Fine. So I won't upgrade the watering can right now. I'll have to start it tomorrow. That's annoying. I'll live, but that's still very annoying. Oh well. Right. Let's see. Reorganize the miscellanea. I think probably I'm just going to end up heading into the mines. Because there's not a huge... I mean, I've got a chunk of energy, not a huge amount. I've still got a little bit of time as well. Probably not a terrible idea. Maybe? Not sure. We'll see. We will see. As I might end up with something vaguely useful. Psh, maybe. Right, let's clear a little bit of space with the scythe, get these batteries, and I still haven't actually visited the chickens today. Maybe I should purchase a couple more. Because 4 chickens probably wouldn't be a terrible idea. Also, because I've only got white chickens, I do want some brown ones so I can start making brown eggs. Because that'd be handy. Having them. More than anything. But we'll see. I also really need to try maybe making tree fertilizer or looking into purchasing some. Just to make wood harvesting a little bit easier. Because part of it is that I want the wood so I can make coal. More than anything. Hey ho. It's one of those give it a try, who knows sorts of things. Meh. But we'll see. Let's have a look. And come on. Heading off to the mines. Here we go. Boom. Right, so we're going to go and smash some stuff up. Gonna mine some things and do a stuff. Yeah. I'm so articulate it hurts. It really does. But oh well. Let's have a look. So my main aim in here is to get some more coal, really. Although copper is going to be quite handy, as I don't have a huge amount of it, and I know I'm going to need it for some of the production, the resource, not buildings, but the tools, work bits. Oh man, there's got to be a word that I can think of, but my brain is just, it's just going, no, sorry mate, not going to work in English today, it's just not going to happen. I haven't even been speaking any German of late, and that's the only other language I speak. So it's just going, haha, you wanna do anything, do you? Nah. I love it when that happens. I'm sure anyone else out there who's bilingual can probably empathise with this one, just being able to turn around and go, yeah, I can sort of think of the word, but not in the language I need right now. And it's really frustrating. It's just an oddity. And very frustrating. But it's one of those fun things. It's a little odd thing, though. It was, my friends were like, yeah, but why are you learning German? Every German speaks English. It's like, yeah, but it's better to be able to speak another language than not. And I also didn't want to learn French. I did it at GCSE level, and I didn't want to do any further than that. Thank you very much. And then when I learned German grammar, I kind of regretted my decision. Because, my goodness, why is the language so complex? It is not an easy language to get your head around the grammar, but I know there are way worse out there. And I'm very glad that I'm not stuck crying repeatedly as I try and figure out those languages. Oh well. Speak a little bit of Japanese as well. I learned that at school. We were a very strange school. we had offers and opportunities to learn 5 different languages at my secondary. Being able to learn French. So yeah, I did French, German, Japanese. I did Spanish for a year. I had an opportunity to learn Italian as well, which is like, that's kind of interesting, kind of cool. But my goodness, it was a lot of work. And I'm kind of glad I didn't take Italian. But it's one of those oddities that, like, when I speak to other people from England and they say, oh yeah, I learned bad French. And that's it. And it feels very strange. But I think my school was a language college or something. I mean, it was the better part of 26 years ago that I started there. Is that by the powers of maths? No, 24 years ago I started secondary school. Good grief. Because that's exactly what you tuned in for, is the Walrus rambling on about his schooling. But it's one of those things I would actually very much like to do, at least one episode where I do it all in German, because I think that would be kind of cool. So apologies for my English listeners and viewers. There will be an episode which you might not understand, but it's probably going to be an episode I've already one of the early ones that I've done already. So you can watch it in English and it'll be there. And I'll do just a silly old redo of it, but me speaking German. And I'm sure that that one will be full of the comments going, your German is absolutely terrible, mate. What are you doing? And so on and so forth, but we'll see. I thought it'd be an amusing trial. Because, if you speak another language, why not give it a go? And apparently, speaking German with a very English accent is quite peculiar. Unsurprisingly enough. Right, so it's nearly 1 a.m, so I should probably head back to the town. Not to the town, to my house, and get ready for the next couple of days. So the weekend is coming, and we're going to be cracking through, getting the last bits ready and done. Now, hopefully we'll catch you again on the next episode, as I still need to record that one, but we're going to get cracking on that, and hopefully you'll be there to watch and listen. And goodbye for now.